Hi guys, I'm Sophia, and here at YoungWithSolutions we're all about sharing our top hacks so you can be successful on social media. Today we're gonna be talking about tips and tricks that help you favor the algorithm. So let's jump right into it.
One hack that I recently found that tripled my views on Instagram stories is adding a poll, asking people a question, yes or no, or choose an answer out of two, and make it a bit polarizing. Like, for example, recently I asked, should I get vaccinated, yes or no? And the number of people in my DMs that reacted on both sides was crazy. And I think the other thing is people spend more time on your story when they have to make a decision, so they probably stop the story, think about it, and then make a decision. And yeah, just to give you like an idea, I usually get like 2,000 views per story, and each time I do a poll, every single time it gets above 10,000 story views. So that's a little hack that I found that works for me.
Nice. I guess I just have a question to follow up on that. Does it get shared more as well?
I do think so, yeah. Like the number of DMs, dude, I'm like talking hundreds and hundreds. I think also the questions have to be quite broad. Like getting vaccinated, like everyone has an opinion on that. I also did something like, where should I invest? Like real estate or cryptocurrency, like subjects that people have an opinion about.
This isn't a hack, but this is a practice that is guaranteed to level up your engagement. And it's also going to teach your algorithm, it's going to feed it exactly who it has to show your content to. So basically something that happens often when you have more than one account is that you post and goes, right? So you basically upload your post, you upload your reel, and then you leave the account. And I think those initial moments are vital after creating a reel or a post. First of all, you want to make sure that you're only following people within your industry, within your niche. Once you do that, as soon as you post, you want to go and interact with your top industry leaders. So you want to go leave comments, you want to go like, you want to go interact with their stories. I found that this increases a lot in engagement, and it drives traffic to your account, and it makes your post perform a lot better. What does that do? They come and they say thank you, they like it, and then they visit my feed. So things like that teaches the algorithm that it's a way to trick it, because you're sort of forcing that engagement, but it's something super easy that you can do. It literally takes 30 minutes after you post, and you're guaranteed to literally 10x your engagement, like any post or reel that you're doing.
Hashtags. So hashtags are super important, and I'll give a few things that we should do to help the algorithm kind of favor us when we use hashtags. So use hashtags that are relevant to your niche. Nothing far away, because that would just kind of make Instagram stop pushing your content. So at the end of the day, don't trick people, into seeing your content when they don't want to see that type of content, right? So hashtags that your audience already follows. So make sure that you look for your ideal audience, and then go look at them, what they're already looking at, and then use hashtags that they're currently looking at, right? Make sure that the hashtags are easily searchable so that they're not super confusing. And then also make a couple sets, right? So you want to be rotating the hashtag. Can't be using the same hashtags in the same type of post. You got to be rotating them, and then from that you kind of optimize, see which ones work best, and then just keep improving on those hashtags. So now Instagram recently said that you don't want to be doing 20-30 hashtags anymore on the captions. So instead you want to keep it from 3 to 5. So that means that you'll really have to research on the type of hashtags that you're going to be using. And again, all these tips still work, so that would kind of be my tip.
Showtime. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the way the algorithms work. This is something that I actually learned in LaterCon also. Instagram doesn't work with only one algorithm. It actually has like many working in the app. As an example, the Instagram feed algorithm differs from the Instagram Explore page algorithm, as does the IGTV algorithm and the Reels algorithm. Like every type of content, every format has its own algorithm on its own. At the end, they all aim to offer the material that consumers are most likely to enjoy in that particular format. So my advice in this case would be to track performance by content format. When we see the insights, we get a little bit confused, and again, we fall into the thought that there's only one algorithm in place. And because we see that our reels have a greater reach and interaction than other formats, sometimes we think that we should only focus on reels and leave aside other formats. However, we must understand that each format has its own algorithm again, and can also be treated for different different purposes, goals, or KPIs. For example, the Reels format is currently very, very good for creating brand awareness, reaching new people, finding new followers, becoming more known. The algorithm again favors videos specifically within that format only. Also, it doesn't mean that it favors Reels more than single posts, for example, and it doesn't mean that the content of a successful Reel works in carousel format, or if we try to create an infographic out of that, because again, people consume and prefer differently the value you bring to each format. Like one strategy that I was thinking what would be something like using Reels for the first step of the marketing funnel, which is to attract attention. Then we could use carousels, for example, to capture people's interest through educational, again, entertaining, inspirational content, and start generating interest in the benefits of our products. Next, we could like try to use IGTV or lives with a longer format where we create that desire in people for a brand, making ourselves known, what we are, what we are not, generate an emotional, more personal connection with our followers, and force them to give us the most valuable thing, which is their attention, right? Finally, we can also use single posts to show lifestyle pictures, how people use our products, product shots, where we can also tag the products we sell, make it easier for users to buy them, to fulfill like that last stage or last step of the marketing funnel, which is to sell. So in this way, we must analyze each format, see what works and what doesn't work in each of these, give purpose to each one, and optimize each format as such to meet an objective.
Okay, so on my end, and the graphic design part is really important for the carousels because it's like getting 10 posts in one post. So you basically give a ton of content in just one post. So it's like people are getting way more content out of like just a carousel than just a single post. So you get like a lot of info. And usually people think that they don't get as many likes maybe as they get on the single post. But the thing is, people usually save them and they spend way more time on them than they spend in a single post. So it's really important to make carousels, and at the end, even if you don't see on the likes maybe, because sometimes people don't like them, but they save them and they spend a lot of time on carousels because every time they swipe, the algorithm is getting like, yeah, people are like watching you more, you know? So every time people swipe on your post, even if it's just like 2 slides or 5 slides, it doesn't have to be the 10 that they have. Even though there is just 2, just the swipe, it gets you more like boost on your post. So I think that's a really important part in carousels. And if you're making a carousel, one of the things that is really important to show up is like on the main frame, the first slide, to make like big, bold text and like a really bright background. So people like get interested and actually like swipe through it. So that way you can get more like interaction with people. So I think that's a really cool hack that people can use too. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. What tip do you like the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and click the like button to show us some love. See you guys next week.